We're live. We are live, indeed. It's afternoon, Thursday. Daminda from Aussizz. Daminda going to be talking about DAMA. I think it rhymes, isn't it? Daminda and DAMA. So let's just get into it. Today we're going to talk about something that a lot of you have asked. Hey, how do I qualify for, and if my occupation is on the DAMA list, if no other options are there for you. What DAMA really is I'm just looking at my left, sorry, I'm just getting into instruction on the left. DAMA is a designated area skills list that some areas have come up with, but today we're going to talk about specifically the ones in the Goldfields, primarily in Kalgoorlie. And in a nutshell, what it is, it's not to be confused with any other list but the 482, which is the employer-sponsored visa. Now, if your occupation is not on that list and you wanted to find if you were somewhat closely related to the DAMA list, which they have their own list, which I have in front of me, so I'm going to go through a couple of them at the same time. The usual questions I have is people who are childcare center, not managers, but if you don't get a chance as a manager, you want to try to get a job somewhere else, you can look at. I'm just looking at childcare center managers. You got accountants. You got all of these people which are still on different levels of skills. So what they call down here is that if you're on ENSCO level 1, you need to find occupations that would require you to go through a skills assessment skills. So it's not something that is, without skills assessment. So you need to find that out. Now, if your occupation is on level 2, for example, if you're a retail manager, you need to know whether you will still need to do a skills assessment. If you are not, then you must meet some other requirements, particularly maybe at least 1 year post-qualification experience of only 20 hours a week, or you meet some other requirements in the last 5 years, which we'll go into detail in a second. So basically, they have different levels of skill in which your occupation they fall under. For example, if you're a childcare worker, which we get a lot of queries from, say, hey, what are our options now? Because it's very difficult to get a job as a childcare center manager. And if your visa is running out and you're thinking, hey, if I have an option to go into Kalgoorlie, which, by the way, is an employer looking for you, an employer who's about at least 12 months registered, has got a business and whatnot, and you meet the criteria and you're on ENSCO level 4, you're definitely a childcare worker, is definitely ENSCO level 4. And then what you need is, you need to go through the very same process. If not, that's how someone will go into a 482. The employer begins to nominate you, you need to have 2 years of experience at the same time, but a little bit more relaxed rules in terms of what they're going to pay you, what your level is all about. And speaking of level 4, so straight away, you still need to do a skills assessment, and you need to have a diploma or higher and 20 hours a week. So if you have that, and for levels 4, I'm reading here, under Goldfields listed below. So you do qualify, is what I'm trying to say. So now, if as we do these things, we are definitely going to get some queries from you in this short period of time. You might want to say, hey, I kind of understand DAMA already, but I need to know if my occupation is level 3 or level 4 or level 5. You're not a driller, you're not a bar attendant, you're not a barista, you're not all of those kind of stuff. You are definitely going to be either level 1 to 3. Now, I don't know whether I should go through this whole this list at the same time, because the ones I have is people who are saying, if you're a youth worker, you're level 2. If you are a social worker, you're level 1. If that gives you an idea, that if you are saying that I'm a telecommunications engineer, you're still level 1. You don't enjoy the level 2 exemption, if you want to call it. So you're still subjected to meeting the 482 requirement, which is very strict because it's still an employer-sponsored visa. Okay, you're not just applying any or how. How do you find a potential employer? You need to go into the Kalgoorlie site. You could maybe go to Seek. You could find some possible jobs down there. Tell them that you are in Perth, you want to move into that area. What are the chances? You give them your resume, the same way that you apply a job in any other capacity. And then you pretty much wait to be invited by an employer, and if the employer shortlists you, then you go into that exact same way as how a 482 will run. And of course, then the next thing happens is, oh, how long do I work for? What are my options? You know, do I work for 2, 3, 5 years or whatnot? Usually, I think it's 5 years, and then you want to know about PR. Okay, 3 years later, on the PR thing, you're on the money, which is why I said in the very beginning, it's a sister or brother of a 482. Okay, so questions, if you have any, you usually going to be around, hey, I'm on level 1, how does this apply to me? Okay, then you're going to go into what I have in front of me. Level 1, like I already said to you, without actually, Anna, do we have any questions so far, or is it just basically I'm just giving them information, and do we have anyone actually?
It's about 1 in 9.
1 in 9, it's about 1 in 9, okay. But today is about DAMA, and 1 in 9 we did cover yesterday. For those of you who are actually paying attention, I think my colleague and I did tackle that. I have prepared a DAMA list down here, which if you have a specific query today, right now, I can definitely tackle that. I can tell you how that might apply to you, if not now, maybe in the next few months, because this is a fast developing and exciting, if you like, options for a lot of people. Now, how it applies to you is really if you pose a question now or perhaps later after this to say, hey, I didn't catch this particular Facebook Live, but my question pertains to I'm a childcare worker. I'm working currently right now, but I'm unable to find a position, or I'm unable to get a job as a childcare center manager, which you know is very difficult to. Then DAMA is for you. Then you find an employer down there, or the employer finds you in this case. And you go into the very same process of them trying to shortlist you, meeting the requirements, and if you have the skills, bingo, that moves forward. You then start working with the person for 3 years, and the good thing is you are already on a DAMA visa. Do your time. Anything else changes along the way, well and good. If it doesn't, 3 years later, that same employer is in a position to say, yeah, I want you, I want to keep you on, then it moves on to an employer-sponsored visa. So in other words, you have to do your time. And take it from me, from Darminder to DAMA, I think you're on the money. You cannot go wrong. And I mean, it's a play of words, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you're saying, my occupation is on the, I'm looking at down here saying, I don't think so many of you are a driller or earth moving plant operator and whatnot. So that's NSCO level 4. Different requirements. You still need a skills assessment. You still need to demonstrate that you have got a QF level 4 or above and 20 hours a week and so forth. Finding an employer over there is your key. And really, in a nutshell, it's an incentive for the employer to then perhaps pay you a little bit different in terms of what they would otherwise pay someone on a 482. And that doesn't mean that you get too little of a salary or whatever the case is. It's just that you are in a very remote, obscure place, and the requirements are a little bit less stringent as per to the 482. You still need to have the employer to be an approved sponsor. You still need to make sure that they have exhausted their means to find someone over there. So, in other words, without going into the nuts and bolts of 482, you have to, I think I've got a note down here somewhere. I'll just read up further a little bit more. Hang on. And exactly, and I've already written down what I was going to finally just sort of finish up on. some of the major queries that we are getting is, first and foremost, is definitely a childcare worker. Hey, how do I go about it? 2 years of experience. A retail manager, you know that retail manager, you cannot apply any other way, but you're going to go by DAMA. Again, 2 years of experience. Good old chef, you're still popular, you still need 2 years of experience. A truck driver, yeah, 2 years of experience, you are in the DAMA reckoning, so to speak. And without me going on a little bit more about it, and if you have a question about that, I can assure you, if not now, maybe it's not a 189 query. Sorry, Anna, it's not a 190 query. I'm happy to take a question.
This question is from Aussizz.
Okay, hey Aussizz. Yeah.
I'm on 482 visa as a cook in Queensland. How can I move to SA on DAMA?
SA as in South
Southern
Australia?
Yeah.
South Australia have their own DAMA list. You must find out which particular region there is, because there are several. Today we're talking about Kalgoorlie, and hence why I have the Kalgoorlie list. Every DAMA have their own list, okay? Not too dissimilar from each other, because there are about 4 or 5 or 6 now getting very popular. Participating areas that are saying they have their own list of occupations. Now if you're in Queensland, Aussizz, and if you found an employer, okay, and an employer says, hey, you are where you are, cool, fantastic, but I need you here in the Goldfields. Brilliant. You touch base with them, or they find out who you are, and then that's when, what I said in the very beginning, then the process begins. The employer, who they are obviously already registered with the Kalgoorlie-Boulder section in terms of participating employer, and then they begin to then say, yep, they need you, why you, why not anyone else? And then the whole process, as you're probably aware, will be very not too dissimilar from what you're having in Queensland. Yeah? I hope that answers your question, Aussizz. Besides Aussizz, surely we have another one. Or maybe they are all still hibernating somewhere. All the childcare workers are probably busy in childcare centres, and they haven't heard of this particular,
Yeah, people are still asking about the points and when can they get invited.
Mm-hmm.
But
what kind of points are they asking? They're asking for the 189 again, and the 190?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, just to recap, I mean, the 189 which we covered yesterday, and in fact today was basically why they're asking, because the 11th of every month the 189 results are out, and if you are in a particular occupation that, you are 80, 85 points, I'm not talking about the accountants, good luck, you may have had an invitation depending on when you launch your application. If you launch your application in the beginning of this year, perhaps you probably got an invite, but that's all for the 189, so we're not going to get into that. I've got some information down here that I can go into, which I have already got down here printed out, which is retail managers. This is exactly what I have got down here. So I was going to read off the same thing, but I printed it out already. So for a retail manager, basically, just to recap and sort of to finish up on DAMA, I do apologize if you have a 189 query, because then you can still catch our Facebook Live that we did yesterday. A retail manager, ANSCO level 2, first and foremost. And what does that really mean? You need to go through a skills assessment and meet one of the following group requirements. You definitely need to be working in a business administration field or highly relevant, retail setting. You just can't just say, oh, I just want to get into that. Remember, 2 years experience is coming from that field, not something that you just sort of put up. And what do they need? 20 hours, okay? 20 hours completed in the last 5 years. And if you have that, whilst you were here in any capacity as a student or as a 485, you've accumulated that, then let's talk. Send me an email, send me a query, send us a query. Collectively, if not me, my team will answer that question. Or better still, if you meet the qualifications as defined by ANSCO in any other study other than the one mentioned above, and again, 2 years of course, I'm reading this so you know that I'm not making this thing up. This is exactly as it's printed out to us. And like I said, there are various ways of just talking about retail manager. Can you imagine if you have another occupation that I just listed out there? Same thing applies. If you really want to have a much more for example, clear a picture if this is not clear enough. Then you say, hey, what if my occupation is on level 4? Then level 4, you still like a childcare worker, undergo skills assessment conducted by a relevant authority, have an AQF level or higher, and at least 1 year of post-qualification experience, which is 20 hours a week. That's for a childcare worker, AQF 2 or 3, which most of you do anyway. And the rest of one, I mean, I can go into if you're a bartender, attendant, or a driller, or earth-moving loader, stuff like that. If that applies to you, and if you're still listening, welcome. Put the question through, and we can answer that. Any other query now, or is that something that we can just leave it at that? Yeah, you think so? Cool. Hey, if you happen to catch this later, and if you do have a query, and if it comes up, and if you're still in doubt, please email me at Aussizz Group, as you know. Dharminder Singh is my name, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching.